Hello my treasures, and oh my Yogg, the Titans mini set has been revealed, which is the Fall of Ulduar. For this mini set, it will be releasing next week on Tuesday, September 19th, consisting of 38 new cards, 4 legendaries, including Yogg-saron himself as a Titan, and a character that I was asking for the return of into standard Cho'gall. The other thing that this mini set will be bringing to us is anomalies, which will make their ways outside of battlegrounds into the rest of Hearthstone, where for the first week, every game will have an anomaly. If you don't play battlegrounds, you'll probably not know what an anomaly is. Blizzard did provide 3 out of the 20 possible anomalies that will be in the constructed formats throughout Hearthstone. The first 3 of these are going to be both players start with Yogg-saron Hope's End, the original Yogg. Both players start with 2 more drawn cards, and Fast Track, which reduces the cost of all cards in both players' starting hands by 1. So basically, they're going to be start of game effects that are going to be randomly chosen from a pool of 20. It's also worth mentioning after the first week, the anomalies will only be a 25% chance of actually being generated until the next set comes out, unless one or both players are playing Cho'gall, where you'll have an additional 25% chance per player to generate an additional anomaly, thus making for even more wacky games if you really feel like it. Speaking of Cho'gall will be a start of game effect that has a 25% chance of spawning an anomaly while being a 6/7 with taunt and lifesteal. Not really the best card in the world, but it is going to be real fun to play around with him because he will make a lot of really fun memes. And since we were going over some of the revealed cards so far, we might as well go over the rest, right? The first one outside of Cho'gall is Chaotic Tendril, which has the battle cry, cast a random 1-cost spell, improve your future chaotic tentacles, which is going to be a 1-cost 1/1 that will improve over the game. I don't know exactly how these are going to improve. I'm assuming it's going to increase the cost of the random spell cast each time you slam one of these down, and we will be going over some of the Warlock cards that does showcase a way to actually improve your chaotic tendrils without just randomly generating additional copies of this 1-cost minion. Generally, priest probably will end up being one of the better classes to support this type of archetype just because you have creation protocol. However, if we do see additional ways to generate them through some of the other class cards or neutral pool, then this card probably will be incredibly strong because it's always a 1-mana minion, but the cost of the spell cast off of it should be improving each time. Now let's get onto the hunter cards. The first one is going to be Twisted Frostwing, a 4-cost 3-attack 3 HP beast with rush, death rattle, summon a chimera with stats equal to this minion's attack. So if we look to the right of this card, Bestial Madness, which is a 2-cost shadow spell that gives +1 attack to all minions in your hand, deck, and battlefield. These cards are probably meant to be used together. There are also a lot of other ways that Hunter has access to buff up this Twisted Wing, such as the Parasite card that can magnetize to both beasts and mech. Generally speaking, this death rattle is actually pretty decent as long as you can get at least one thing to stick on it. And because we do have Yelling Yodeler in Hunter, I do think this card will probably see a lot of play. It'll be a very similar playstyle to the Warlock decks that we see right now, using their new location on the 7/7 that can't attack. But for the final Hunter card, Celestial Shot, a 3-cost arcane spell that deals 3 damage. Your next spell has +2 spell damage. Now, I've been asking for a new arcane direct damaging spell since we got the big arcane package in March of Lich King. However, given some of the recent developments in Hunter, I don't know if this card is going to be one that I'm really looking forward to be playing against. Arcane Hunter is already a really decent deck, especially after they buffed up Holandrin. And honestly, I can't see a world where this one doesn't see too much play. And it also does make the Lynx portal a lot better than it previous was, because it'll always make it where it'll generate 3 4/4s, which is actually pretty good for 4 mana. That card can snowball really, really quickly and is at an awkward stat weight for a lot of classes to actually be able to deal with on turn 4, which may or may not make that a deck really, really annoying to deal with. Overall, honestly, for the 3 hunter cards revealed, there are quite a few different decks that we could probably test out. Though I do think I'm probably going to end up testing out a Arcane Hunter list over a Death Rattle Hunter list just because I just did Death Rattle Hunter. Let's get onto the Warlock cards. The first card is going to be Curse of Flesh. This is going to be a 1-cost shadow spell that enemy minions cost health instead of mana next turn. If you've seen my recent short, you know a very similar card to this exists in Warlock already in the form of Commander Ulthric. And that card backfires so quickly, which means a card like this is probably less likely to see play too because of the fact that it only affects minions. Sure, your opponent isn't going to get as much advantage off of this as some of the OTK decks that are currently in standard rely on spells, making it a little bit more consistent there. The only home I could maybe see this scene play in is in a Elite Torn Champion deck where you're going to slam this down just so you can explode your opponent with the pick on a certain turn, because this will be a little bit more consistent with you being able to do that, given the fact that you can run 2 copies of this and minions you can easily just get rid of by using something like Sargeras or Twisting Nether in order to instantly remove them from the board. All right, let's get on to the next one, which is going to be Encroaching Insanity, a 3-cost shadow spell that both players take fatigue damage twice. So, 2 thoughts about this card. First off, Fatigue Warlock support after Festival of Legends, which is cool because I expected that deck to never get support again, like a lot of other packages that we have seen in Hearthstone's history. The other thing worth mentioning is Mill Warlock. With all the Death Rattle support we have in standard rotation for Warlock, could we maybe see something like Mill Warlock come off of this? I do think this card has a lot of potential in quite a few different Warlock decks. It could make OTKing someone using Crescendo even easier than before. Honestly, this has a lot of potential for some real fun decks. I know it probably won't end up being the most competitive card, but Warlock currently is the strongest class in the 3 constructed game modes. I don't really think the class really needed another competitive deck. All right, let's get on to the last card revealed today, which is going to be Tentacle Tender, a 3-cost 2 attack 5 HP minion that at the end of your turn get a 1/1 Chaotic Tendril. So this is one of the ways that we'll see additional ways to generate the Chaotic Tendrils. I'm curious if other classes will have additional ways too, or if it is just going to be a Warlock thing since Loken was controlled by Yogg and they do have that connection there. Generally, I do think the stat line on this is probably a bit too strong, which means it will probably end up seeing a lot of play. Giving you some type of advantage at the end of the turn instead of the start of the turn also is something that is really powerful. I know there is a very similar card to this in Shaman right now with the Piranhas that doesn't really see too much play. But the fact that the tendrils actually get better and better each one you put down, this is going to be an incredibly hard card for a lot of classes to deal with a 5 HP pool. And I honestly can't think of a reason why they decided to make it with 5 HP. There's no way this card doesn't see a lot of play. All right, those were all the cards revealed so far for Fall of Ulduar. Let me know down below which ones you're most looking forward to actually using and what ideas that you have come up with these cards so far. Also, let me know if you're interested in more of these card review videos because I had originally planned on only doing one for this mini set, which would have been on the final day, but I figured why not get this out since I didn't have a short out today. And like always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye bye.